What's going on, guys? Haven't made a video in a few weeks, but just had my final draft on Labor Day. Pretty happy with how it turned out. Um, I ended up so I'm the first slot there with Le'Veon Bell, Justin Forsett, and I landed Foster in the fourth as well. So basically, if everything if Foster stays on track and gets back like week 4, week 6, something like that, I should make a pretty strong push for the playoffs there. But then again, you never know. You can't really count on injuries and stuff like that. But I was pretty happy to land 3 running back ones, all in good situations. Then I got Kelsey. Kelsey, I think is going to be. He's on just about every one of my teams this year. I got 3 drafts going. Got him in every one. Got him about the 5th round because I think that I've been on the end of the snake for some reason. Every draft this one, 1 or 12, 12 or 1. So I'm pretty happy with getting Kelsey, on the ends of the 5th each time. Um, and I got Jordan Matthews, which I think he'll have a big year. We play in the PPR league. This is 12-man PPR, 2 wide receiver, 2 running back, and then a flex that can play wide receiver, running back, tight end. So you have a lot of flexibility in this one. And then everything else is just traditional PPR 1 point scoring. So I picked up a few guys who I think are going to be younger wide receivers, so I didn't have to pay like a big price for him, like getting him in the 1st and 2nd round. Even though I was very close to getting Odell, he's got a soft place in my heart because he won me my league last year. So if Odell or Cobb would have fell to me, I definitely would have gone with one of them over Matthews, but that's just kind of how it worked out. So I'm just about here. So talked about Matthews, huge upside. Had a really good end of the year last year. Great offense. I'm actually pretty big on the Eagles roster this year. I got Matthews in the 8 for a backup running back slot. I think he has a lot of value. Last year, Chris Polk ended up stealing a lot of touchdowns, and he kind of fits in that better athlete, better running back than Chris Polk. So I think he even has some flex value down the line, potentially even with Murray staying upright. But I'm always a little worried about DeMarco Murray, and if he goes down, then I have some good value there. I picked up Martavius Bryant as well. He looked ridiculous in the preseason, and he's just, he has a 4-game suspension, which is going to hurt me if I can get out of those 4 games because I picked up 3 guys with suspensions here. So Le'Veon with 2. Actually, Foster's not a suspension, but he'll be out for probably the most out of them, 4 to 6 weeks, something like that. And then Bryant with 4. And so I have to, just what I'm shooting for is a 2-2 start. I have in my league, I end up playing. His name's Oba here. I think he has one of the stronger teams. I end up playing him twice. I play him right off the bat, and then I play this Tony and Josh combo, who has another very strong team. So the first 2 weeks are going to be rough. If I can take 1 or 2 of those, it'd be great. Because I feel like week 4 or 5, even week 3, I'm really going to start to pick up with Le'Veon Bell back, and that's what I'm shooting for at least. So see, I'm down here. Allen Robinson, Jaguars. He's kind of a garbage time monster. Last year he was on pace for 130 something targets before he got injured. He's just a freak athlete too, so I like the upside in that. Getting the 6th, and I think he can probably give some like wide receiver 2 value. Hopefully like high end wide receiver 2. Matthews is a low end wide receiver 1 potentially, like in a PPR setting. Martavius Bryant, he could be, he could take some of the big plays away from like Antonio Brown. He's not going to beat him by any stretch, but he could kind of sneak into that wide receiver 2 value. So he's kind of what I'm aiming for my flex spot between him and probably Forsett, maybe Devontae Parker at the end of the year. Shane Vereen too. Those are going to be my guys. I kind of like plug and play based off of bye weeks and injuries and stuff like that. Then when I came down, I told you guys I was pretty in on the Eagles this year. I went Bradford. So he's a little shaky as far as his health is concerned. I think his talent is great. I've been wanting to draft him for a few years. I've always liked what he has to offer. I never thought that it was him that was holding back his offense. It's kind of just a scheme. It was a run first offense, and they never really commit to it. I think he'll do really well. And then so just for insurance, I got Tannehill, just in case for Bradford. And that's also a plug and play matchup. Eagles are pretty much, I want to say that they're bulletproof when it comes down to it. There's not too many teams that are going to be able to stop what they do at the pace that they do it as well. But that's just kind of insurance for me, because I already have so much suspensions going on and injuries, that I drafted into. So I just wanted to have that position locked away. Then after that, I went Shane Vereen, who, even as early as week one, it could just be a shootout right away because Cowboys and Giants, they both their defenses, especially the secondary, are pretty lacking. So that one could be a real big game for him just right off the bat. And I think I'm actually starting him because my RB situation is pretty rough. So I can start off with Forsett, Matthews, and Vereen. I'd take the upside on Vereen on that. I think Matthews will do just fine, but he's real touchdown dependent. If you plug him into your roster, he could end up. I think he'll end up with at least one touchdown, but I don't know how much other value he'll get because in that Chris Polk kind of role, he was taking touchdowns, but then outside of that, there wasn't a lot of touches. So after Vereen, then I went with Funchess, who I'm probably going to end up dropping. I'm thinking about picking up Ruben Randall. That was one of those brain farts there that when you're at the end of the draft, I just ended up not taking him. The other one too that I was looking at was Christian Michael, but I felt like I had a pretty solid running back core. I already had 5 guys, and 3 of them are RB1s, so didn't feel like I felt like I needed more wide receivers there. And with Funchess, apparently like he hurt his leg, which I wasn't aware of. Apparently, made me look like a rookie there. But he hurt his leg, so he's not even starting. Carolina's pretty rough. You got Cam Newton who throws line drives every single ball. So I think there'll be some growing pains on him. I do like his upside though towards the end of the year. So I might pick up Randall until I get Martavius Bryant back, until I get some of my suspensions back, and my roster kind of evens back out, and then potentially pick him up again. But I like Ruben Randall, week 1 especially. Then we're going to Devontae Parker. He's starting to take some snaps. He was arguably, top 3 out of the draft for wide receivers, even with the injury. So I feel like he's kind of a stash play. You hang on to him end of the year, hopefully mid-season he'll start picking up some steam, and then towards the end of the year, you have kind of a plug-and-play guy that, if you end up with an injury or, it gets real thin towards the end of the year, so you want to have a few guys that you can just stash there. So I put kind of the stash guys as like Ryan Matthews, in case of an injury there. Vereen is like my stash guy too. Devontae Parker. Ruben Randall has a lot of drops, so I'm not sure if I'd qualify him as like a stash guy. He did have 130-something targets last year. He just wasn't very productive with them, so he'll definitely get his looks. He has to catch the ball. So I'm not incredibly up on him, but I feel like he's a good play for week 1. And then we just go, back to the kicker defense the last 2 rounds. Scobie's in Pittsburgh. That Pittsburgh offense is pretty on fire. I think Cody Parkey. Oh no, he wasn't even there for me. I felt like that would have been probably didn't too much. All in on the Eagles, So I don't know. Like their offense is really good, but I wanted to have some variation because I'm pretty in on the Steelers and the Eagles. Once I figured I drafted, I'm like, wow, I got too much of all of that. And then Kansas City are playing the pretty sure it was the Titans. Oh no, it was the Texans. And the Texans are, great on defense, but then the offense, could be pretty lacking, especially in the running game. So I'm hoping for a bunch of sacks, low scoring game, and see if Houston, is worth all that money. And yeah, so that's pretty much my draft. I ended up on Yahoo. I got a A minus on it. It just the critique that I got was that I was reaching for a few guys, specifically like Foster, Allen Robinson. They said I was reaching for Martavius Bryant, but you know how drafts go is that everything is an opinion, and even if you have like consensus of like 100 experts, if you really want somebody and you're on the end, you have to reach for them. Because right here on round 7, if I don't even know, so yeah, so this would be that I'm waiting 20 plus picks to come back for him to potentially go, and then you see all these yellows, right? So at 15, so probably somewhere around 14, 15 wide receivers went. So there's a good chance that he would have left, I mean, LaFell was going. That guy probably didn't know that he was injured. But it started to really thin out after this point here. So, it's all um, opinions, like I said earlier, and you just need to, be confident in like how you mock draft. You look at your roster. Like I was pretty light on receiver, so I was like, man, this guy, looking like he's gonna break out, and I hope it's on my team. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions or anything, or you know, any comments. Feel free, and I'll talk to you guys later.